Oh, look, now it's about to start the recording. You're muted, Melanie.
Mute.
Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I knew it would start recording once I joined, so glad you guys are able to connect. And we will get started right here at the top of the hour.
Sounds great.
So let's make sure I can share my screen.
Have you heard from Avinash?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
He just sent an email. He's joining through his personal laptop.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
We could have been chatting all along.
I know. I was trying to stay quiet.
We were sitting quietly.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You never know. You never know.
Mm-mm.
All right, trying to make sure. Let's hit share.
There we
I
go.
can see it.
Yay! All right, let me go here.
You might want to go in there. You go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got it.
Oh, it looks great. It looks great. Well, believe it or not, and we've already had people joining, so we will get started at the top of the hour. Thank you so much for joining today's call. Nope. And there are so many links to pull in.
Is Jenna joining us this morning?
Don't know. I know she was coming back from vacation, so we'll
okay.
also monitoring the chat window for any questions that come in as well.
Do you want me to monitor the chat since you'll be doing a lot of the talking?
Sure.
Okay. Just trying to make it easier on you, whatever you
Yep.
prefer.
Either way, I just always try to make sure that we answer any questions or things that
Yeah.
people have.
Yeah. And is David going to be joining us too?
David unfortunately cannot, so
Oh,
if it works out where he can make it in, then he'll join in.
okay.
So, all right, about 3 more minutes, we'll get started. I apologize for the dead space. I wasn't able to start and restart the video, so for folks listening later, just scroll ahead. Still learning how to use the tool for all of our user groups. I still can't believe Summit was already last week.
I
You
know.
know,
It went by so
Yeah.
fast.
It did. It was
it
so
was
good.
shorter. It was shorter too, wasn't it? It was shorter by a day.
Mhm.
Yep. So everything was kind of squished in, but we got it all in.
Yes.
We got it all in.
A lot of going. They didn't have the partner day either, so they just sort of condensed everything.
Yeah.
We'll call it concentrated because it was very concentrated.
That is a good word for it. I like it.
Are very focused.
Yeah.
All right, we will get started within the next minute. I'm sure folks are going to start joining in here shortly. I'm going to test the chat by putting in a good morning. Hi, Avinash.
You
Hi,
made it.
I'm Melanie
Hey,
Bartlett.
I can hear you.
Yeah, the culprit is 2 laptops, so yeah,
That works.
Well, we are happy you are here.
yeah. Thank you, Cindy.
Perfect. Well, we will get started here in just a minute. We're allowing the attendees to start joining. While we're waiting, chime in. Where are you from? Put it in the chat. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone who's joining in. I'm seeing more callers are connecting. Very excited to see you all. So say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're from. This is a global user group, so we do have attendees coming in from around the world. Very excited for that. We'll get started here very shortly as people are joining in. I'm seeing more join. Hey Seth, good to see you.
There's Ralph.
Yep, hi Rolf.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. All right, we've got a couple more people joining in. We'll get started here very, very shortly. So thank you so much for joining today's call.
Marilyn, thanks for joining.
Yes, amazing. Chicago, Florida, Columbia. If you want to ping in the chat wherever you're from, just to say hi or just say good morning or hi. We've got a couple more attendees coming in. I'm making sure any questions we have there. Amazing. Good morning. All right. Well, we're right at the top of the hour. We are going to go ahead and get started. Again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. Welcome to today's Adobe Experience Manager User Group. This is the Digital Asset Management DAM Global User Group meeting. And today's topic we're going to talk about is Adobe Summit 2026. Let's go into a recap. Our session is going to focus primarily on assets and content supply chain of what was presented at Adobe Summit. My name is Melanie Bartlett. I am one of the co-leaders for our user group. David, unfortunately, was not able to join today's call, but I am very happy to have everybody here today and go over all of our content. Couple housekeeping slides. As you know, you have just connected to an Adobe Experience Manager user group. Coming up this month in May, can't believe it's May already, we do have a couple of different sessions that are being run by different chapters. So you are in the global DAM user group, but we do have chapters around the world. Southwest US has a chapter, London, as well as Women in Tech, the Bay Area, and Champion Office Hours. And each of these are doing different sessions that are virtual and one in person. So if you are at all interested, we do have the QR code listed here, or you can attend, just like you found our user group, you can go to the user groups and actually search for the different chapters and different topics that you want to attend and sign up for. Hello from St. Louis and Chicago. Also, we wanted to remind everybody the Adobe AEM Champion program, which on this call, we do have several champions. This recognizes top product experts, which is helping us grow in our careers as well as shape the future of Adobe Experience Manager. So if you are at all interested in becoming a Adobe Experience Manager champion, we have the QR code here listed, and I'll throw this in the chat for you to be able to apply by June 5th. That's when they take a look at all of the applications. But the program does allow knowledge sharing, networking, direct collaboration with Adobe and the product owners, thought leadership opportunities. We love swag, as well as the champion forum every year. That is amazing. There's also an upcoming webinar regarding the champion program to unlock that champion program advantage. Who it's for, what it takes, and how to apply. So this is on May 14th. Again, we have a QR code here that you can use to register for this to learn more about applying to become an Adobe champion and ask questions in that call as well. Apply, apply, apply. Love it. A little bit of housekeeping rules that we do have. So to ensure that the user groups stay user-focused as well as a safe space for all the members to learn and network and problem solve, we have no self-promotion here, not allowed to contact people outside of the user group without your consent, and we cannot share any use cases that are shared in the user group, won't be shared without the information without your consent. Last but not least, please note we're abiding by the user group code of conduct and letting all attendees know that today's session is being recorded. And this will be posted on the Adobe User Group YouTube channel for later for training education as well as future learning. So if you do not wish to participate in the live recorded session, you can feel free to drop and watch the recording at a later time. But please know if you comment anything or come off mute to ask any questions, that is part of that recording. If you have any questions, you can send that to advocateadobe.com or reach out to myself, which I'll reach out to them as well to answer any of those questions. All right, without that being said, we've gotten through the housekeeping. One more, sorry. To stay connected with our chapter, you've already joined, so you are connected, but you do need to make sure that you do join the chapter to get any email notifications regarding upcoming events and activities that we're going to host for the rest of this year. So definitely join our chapter, take a look at some of the other chapters that are out there, any topics that are relative to you that you want to attend, and be sure to sign up. All right, without further ado, we're going to deep dive into Adobe Summit 2026, providing a recap on content supply chain and AEM assets. Today's panel, I'm very excited to have some fellow champions attend, and I'll let you guys each introduce yourselves.
I'll start. I'm Cindy Underwood with LPL Financial. AEM Assets is where I live.
Hi guys, I am Katie Junge. I am with Workday, and just like Cindy, AEM Assets is kind of where I live, breathe, and play during the day for work.
Hello, everyone. My name is Avinash Gupta. I work for Prudential Financial, and I take care of multiple products here, content supply chain, Marketo, Workfront, but I have a prior experience working with almost all the products of Adobe. So yeah, pass it on to you, Melanie.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to provide your experience and your expertise of what we all witnessed at Adobe Summit. There we go. All right. So let's start out with how was Adobe Summit? So when we first got to Summit, one of the things that we did notice is Summit was later this year. Normally it's in March. This year it was in April. It was also a much shorter session, and they did not have a partner day for those who are our actual partners. But the one thing I noticed is the community pavilion was a little bit different this year. There were a lot of different booths for Adobe. Like, for example, Katie and I went up to the asset management and reuse booth to be able to talk directly to some of the product owners and ask questions as well as see demos. I'm going to pause there for some of the other champions to chime in with what they observed.
You know, one of the cool things that I really liked about the trade show floor was the wonderful AI experience that they brought to life with Vegas. Do you guys remember the center point that they had where you kind of walked up and it was right on the side of the Adobe booth? That was very cool how they were able to do that and bring sort of like the big city to life in a little environment.
Yeah,
That was cool. I also like that everybody was very engaged. When you went to the booths, it was surrounded, every booth you'd go to. So there was a lot of engagement, a lot of talking, a lot of good questions. We had the opportunity to be at the booths to answer questions too, so that was interesting. So I really felt like people wanted to get hands-on. They loved seeing the sessions, but they wanted to maybe talk to people and really see how things are working.
exactly. I agree. And jumping into the keynotes were a little bit different this year. If I recall, the days are all blending together. Was day one keynote was a little bit later, or was that first thing in the morning?
No, that was at 2:00. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a keynote in the afternoon, which I think allowed a lot of us to see the pavilion as well as attend sessions prior to attending the keynote, as well as allow anybody who was flying in a little bit later to get directly to the keynote. But I always love the energy in the keynote. Shantanu, when he took the stage, he had inspirational vibe, a clear message regarding empowering with AI. And one of my favorite quotes that he had was, "Tools don't create, people do." That always resonates very, very well with me. How about the others here?
I really liked that he had Jensen Hung on the session with him, and it was interesting to see them kind of talk CEO to CEO. If you don't know, he is the CEO of NVIDIA, And a lot of the products are crossing over and working between Adobe and NVIDIA. So it was interesting to see how they were working together, the relationship between them, and then their comments. And I think that according like what you said, Melanie, there was a lot of conversation about it is people first. Yes, AI, but people drive the creativity, people drive where it's going and provide the governance for it.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. How about some feedback on day 2 keynote?
So I think for the day two keynote, it was mostly highlights was the fusion of Gen AI with all the customer profiles and the brand assets plus integrated B2B go-to-market orchestration. So it was like kind of an signal about like human sets the goal and AI operates the software, human defines the governance, and the AI runs the workflows. Human makes all the judgment calls and AI handles all the steps in between. So that's what the biggest intake was. We were able to like there was a conversation around with some of the leaders from Procter and Gamble, from JP Morgan. So it was good to see their vision towards AI and how the industry is reshaping towards that. So those were the key highlights of that.
Agreed, agreed. The need for human intervention, I think, is so important and key
Yeah.
to improving AI.
Mhm. What do y'all think about the introduction of using AI and the agents with CX Enterprise? Any opinion on that yet, or is it just so new and being rolled out?
I think it's just so new, personally for myself, and kind of getting to really understand it and see it in person as well. But Melanie, to your point that you just made, I think one of the things that I found that was that constant thread between the keynotes and the sessions I attended is that AI is, it's a tool for humans to use, and the governance and stuff is always going to be that important. And we're going to touch on that, I think, in a little bit. But I think, Cindy, to your question, I think it's very much a new thing that I'm still wrapping my head around, to be very honest, but I think it's all going to be great.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I just put this link in the chat, but the day 1 and day 2 keynotes, as well as a lot of the sessions, are already available. So you would just need to log in to start viewing them. All right, let's dive into some of the major AEM announcements from Summit. Katie, do you want to take us?
I do. Thank you very much. So again, there was a lot of goodness that we were able to take away from Summit. But one of the things that we thought would be a really good idea was to kind of put together a condensed list of some of the stuff that we thought was the most important. So first up, we've got the content MCP. For those of you that are not familiar with that acronym, it is Model Context Protocol. And basically what's happening here is that the MCP servers are now directly inside AEM, and this is going to be huge for our developers. It's basically allowing our AI agents like Cursor or Claude to come in and help our developers write, debug, and deploy AEM code, as well as retrieve or modify any sort of content via AI without ever having to leave the editor. So it's really everything in one space, which is really neat, and it's very conversational. From the generative AI powered smart tags and metadata, I don't know about anybody else, but this was a really big one for me, especially from a librarian perspective. We spend a lot of time trying to clean up things or just look at tags to figure out what is actually tagged. But now with this, what we can do is we can actually utilize natural language prompts and Gen AI to enrich all of our metadata. So again, this goes back to what we were just saying when we talk about how governance is really important, because humans are going to have to obviously set the tone, and then AI will become that much more empowering of us and of our information, making all of our assets and metadata ingestion and all of that just that much more powerful and that much more faster. One of the other things that had popped up was a massive win for the native Figma enterprise integration. I don't know about a lot of you guys, but we use Figma, and just being able to kind of have everything in one environment and having that integrate natively via a plugin is going to be a huge win for our creative partners. One other thing that was announced was AEM edge functions, which allows JavaScript to be executed right at the CDN layer, excuse me, as I stutter there. And then we also saw updates for composable content in the Journey Optimizer. And finally, we now have tailored UI experiences within the admin view versus the assets view. The admin view really kind of remains the powerhouse for all of our complex workflows and integrations, but the asset view provides that lighter touch. I always like to refer to it as damn light, if you will, and it just helps our broader teams be able to handle basic uploads, searches, and so forth. That way they don't get bogged down by all of those nuances that, you know, the admin or the librarians care about. Cindy or Avinash, do you want to add anything to this?
One thing I noticed that they are doing Frame.io integration too, and I don't know if y'all are familiar with Frame.io, but it started out, Adobe bought them about a year or so ago, and of course they're integrating them into the system. It's going to become the approval process that's going to work out of Workfront, but it will also have a panel with an AEM. And there are two benefits of Frame.io. One, assets can be loaded directly into the DAM from Frame.io. That's going to be really great, especially for video. I don't know about y'all, but I'm in financial services and we can't attach external drives. So if we need large video loaded, there's always an issue. It could be too big to get it from Box. There's a lot of issues. But if they can take it and bring it directly from Frame.io into the DAM, that's going to be a huge benefit for all of us. So we'll be able to get approval from anywhere without a seat. It can be reviewed and then it can be loaded into the DAM through Frame.io and Workfront. So I think that's going to be a real game changer along with Figma integration.
That's great. I love that so much because you don't have to bounce from tool to tool to tool. You can actually just do it in the environment where you are. Because a lot of people get annoyed. Well, not annoyed, I guess is the wrong word. But, you know, it's frustrating when you have to go continuously from each tool. I mean, you kind of waste time. And when you're trying to move fast, it's good to have everything right there.
It'll be great with the creatives too, because it's also integrating with Creative Cloud. So you can literally have different panels. If you're in Creative Cloud, you can have a Frame.io and a DAM window within it. If you're in Frame.io, you can have the DAM and Creative Cloud. If you're in the DAM, you can see both Frame.io and the Creative Cloud. So it's just going to be this great integration to make sure that everything functions smoothly and quickly.
That's wonderful.
I am seeing a question in the chat wondering if the Figma integration will support high-res files like TIFF. I do know Figma does support high-resolution images, but to maintain performance, you want to watch what the image in those pixels are. So I think it's going to be interesting for all of our teams to be able to test out this since it's new and provide any of that feedback back to Adobe on how it's working and what it's doing.
It would be great if you could choose the renditions, you know, or dynamic media, you know, if you could do it that way. So we'll have to see. I haven't gotten my hands on it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that once we do, I think providing that feedback is going to be very helpful.
Avinash, you had something you were going to say.
Yeah, few things to add on onto the MCP side of the things. So Adobe has released two MCP servers. One is for content authoring, so we can do all the content updates, all the CRUD operations, and even we can do the asset importing as well as changing the metadata directly using the MCP servers. So that is huge. And another thing is about managing the cloud manager builds. So that is something that also we can do it using the MCP servers. And along with that, I got an opportunity to talk to the dynamic media product owners from the Adobe side. So they said that they are focusing more onto the open API of the things. And with that, right now the dynamic media open API is going to get leveraged across EDS as well as for the Marketo as well for the entire content supply chain. They are bringing new enhancements, new video encoding there. So they are making huge initiative towards enhancing the dynamic media open API. So maybe in future they will partly apart from the classic dynamic media app to the open API side of the things. So those are the huge undertaking that I learned during this summit this year.
That's great.
Great information. All right. Okay. Want to make sure I didn't go too fast. Now let's talk about some of the sessions that we actually attended. Cindy, I think you had some great feedback from a couple of these sessions as well.
Yeah, these were both with Best Buy teams. There were two different teams working and presenting during Summit. And the marketing for humans and machines, I thought was really pivotal because it takes us out of talking about just what our SEO is and how we're talking to people, but realizing that those large language models are going to be doing the searching and delivering of so much of our information. And what brings it to us is it's only going to work if we have a consistent taxonomy, metadata, that we have metadata strategies and operations models that work at scale. So that takes everything from just I'm publishing to a page to, okay, it has to start in the DAM. We have to have all of this correct to start with. We have to be able to work quickly, which is where that AI is going to come in, so that we can also be activated, not just for the people, but for the machines that are going to parse through our data and deliver it up to people. And then I really like Best Buy's blueprint for building an activation first AI dam. And they were talking about their vision. Their ultimate vision was an interconnected metadata enabling personalized creative libraries. That's where our heart is. But I think that one thing they brought up is making content now, especially with Firefly, is so easy, but it's the delivering of it that's hard because we've got to have that metadata. We have to have the approvals. Has it passed legal? Has the creative leaders approved this content so that we can deliver it? So this is where we, as people that work within DAMs, we are bridging that content to make it work quickly, but be governed and approved. And again, it talks about metadata being key, and then starting to bring in those agents so that we can deliver. One thing that was brought up within Summit is now agents can take feedback and say they missed the period, a word is wrong, a color needs to change. The agent can take, instead of having those rounds of approvals we all go through, the agent can make those minor changes and deliver it back so that we save rounds of approval. So I think that's really, really important. And then, of course, humans. AI is in service to humans, freeing us to be creative. It's not going to replace us, but it's going to make us bring thought, bring creativity. How do we want to deliver this? And then those things that take us so much time and keep us from doing the things that we want to do within our day, we're going to be able to do it. And we're going to have to be connected. So I think that comes back to where we were talking about the CX enterprise. It's going to be a connected ecosystem where we have to have, again, I know we talk content supply chain all the time, but it's going to have to be from like a workfront situation all the way through. And then, of course, human-led, agent accelerated was a term they brought up that I really loved. So that's my little recap.
Cindy, I really do love that last line right there, human-led, agent accelerated. I think that just sums up everything you mentioned under humans with AI. It's just very well put.
Yeah, I love that. That was like one of the key statements for me.
Amazing. Thank you. All right. Some of the other valuable sessions here, I think, Katie, is this yours?
No, I think this one's Cindy's.
Yeah,
Right.
these were
So sorry.
just no, I just called them out as a few that if we're talking about the dam, because even Melanie and I were talking last night, so many sessions, all of them rich, all of them good, but these were a few that speak to where we live day to day. So I just wanted to bring them in so that when we all go back through this, or if we can put this in the chat for everyone, these were some really great sessions that are geared towards what we're looking at.
Agreed. And actually, I was able to attend a few of these. I thought they were amazing. The DAM Innovations, just a great session where you can get some good content.
Exactly.
I'm actually a posse here. Avinash, were there any particular sessions that you found amazing to attend or wanted to call out?
Yeah, I have attended few of them, though it was really hard because parallelly there were some other sessions were happening, so it's hard to attend all of those. But yeah, definitely, I have attended a few of them, and when the recording would come, definitely I will just go and try to watch for all other sessions as well.
Perfect.
That's the one thing I really do enjoy about Summit is that there's so much information, but
Yeah.
given that they record everything, we can make sure that we get to see it all. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Agreed. Let's take a look at how about meeting some of the AI agents that were
Yes.
introduced at Summit.
Yep. So this is a good one, I think, and it kind of brings to life some of the information that we've been sharing. So the first one we have at the top is the brand experience agent, and this one is basically the behind the scenes fixer upper, if you will. If you're trying to clean things up, it helps mitigate old legacy sites into cloud ready formats. And it really just kind of helps us, from a production side as well, because it helps speed up content updates so that, we're not really stuck waiting around some of the stuff that, Cindy was mentioning a little bit ago. The governance agent, that's one that I am very, very excited about. I love the fact that the governance agent is basically like a brand emperor, if you will, make sure that all of our stuff is in line with brand compliance. We are okay and we're covered by legal. Anything basically that we give it, it will make sure that all of our assets are covered by that. And I'm going to go into the governance agent here in a second on the next slide. But the last one that we have is also the content advisor agent. And basically, this one completely changes how we can dig through the dam. So what it's going to do is it's going to help us find our assets quickly, and we can make very, dynamic variants, or we can tweak the visuals however we need to. But it really just kind of helps bring everything to life, especially when we're maybe in a going fast mode and we're trying to really look for that one specific asset that we need. Before we pop on to the next slide, does Cindy or Avinash want to add anything else to the agents?
I think you covered them well.
Yeah, you've already covered it, Katie. But
Mhm.
yeah, these agents are like keep on getting enhanced, like based on what kind of a feedback that we are providing. So that's a value addition to it. Like kind of governance agent. Right now, we are partnering with the other firms to do the all the review of all the assets. But with the time, when we'll start leveraging these kind of a governance agents, that's going to be totally a game changer for us.
Completely, yeah. Melanie, do you want to go to the next slide?
There you go.
Okay, so one of the sessions that I was able to attend, in addition to the ones that were already called out, was the Boost Your Dam Productivity with Agents in AEM. And the one thing that I really liked about this was that it was a hands-on, so you actually got to get into the tool and get your hands dirty. There were various hands-on labs that I thought were very well done and everything, but I really liked how this one was led. We got to play around with all of the agents that we just saw on the last slide and walk through different use cases to help bring them to life. This is definitely things that I think that a lot of companies and partners are exploring, but the amount of time it saves, the ease in which you can speak to these agents, and the ability for the agents to bring everything to life for you is so simple. It's just right at your fingertips. So I'm actually very excited to see how these agents come to life, in my own environment, I would say. And I would say, there's a couple of different benefits listed on these slides here. And I do believe we're going to be sharing these slides after this presentation. But again, if you guys get a chance to get your hands on or test the agents, things like that, it's going to bring the agents to life a bit more for you. That natural language piece just really kind of helps make it very easy. You can literally ask, hey, I need to find this asset, or I need to find assets that are, have expiring rights managed details in the next 5 days, and it'll just bring up a list and everything is right there at your fingertips.
Amazing.
Don't you think it's interesting that, what was it, a year, maybe 2 years ago, they were just talking about AI, just starting to talk about agents, and now they have all these great agents coming out, and they're working, and we're using them. It's not just theoretical.
Yep. And I mean, even to that point, Cindy, I think back when everybody was saying all of that stuff, everybody was really worried about how, AI was going to replace the librarians or replace whoever. But again, to me, it's all based on making us be able to work more efficient. But again, that governance is going to be key because AI can only work as well as the foundational elements that it has. So again, governance, governance, governance.
AI can provide information, but it really can't make decisions.
Right.
We have to
Right.
still make decisions.
Yep, exactly. There's still a human role involved.
Agreed, and could not agree more. And actually, I just realized my video was off. Hello.
Melanie, you got what I
Oh,
did.
okay, so lots of great sessions, but we have to mention that the Adobe Champion program has the opportunity to speak at Skills Exchange. And this is where you can do peer-to-peer learning, sharing best practices, tips and tricks. So there were 2 sessions at Adobe Summit that were Adobe Experience Manager related that were also hosted. That was my first time speaking at Summit, so I'm still so damn excited that I actually had that opportunity and was able to talk to everybody at the Skills Exchange, as well as our other session as well. So these are both also available to review on the recordings. Why am I stuttering through this? Wow. But it was great. So any feedback here?
I thought the sessions were valuable. I would encourage everybody to go and listen to them. Melanie, what you brought up were so many pivotal, can't talk either, pivotal things. And what I loved, and I think you did too, is afterwards there were so many great questions. And so that just brought up more where people are like, okay, that's great. Well, what about this? And how do I do that? So I would encourage, if we're looking at sessions that are targeted, geared towards what we do, to definitely look at those 2 skill exchange sessions.
Exactly. All right. And then we also have some key takeaways that we wanted to kind of go over.
Yep, and I'm happy to cover this unless Cindy or Avinash want to. I feel like all I've done is speak. Okay, so it kind of talks about everything that, we've just been speaking about, optimizing for context, not just content. And this is where we're really entering the agentic web. AEM is really making sure that we're not only just evolving to ensure our assets, here I go, now I can't speak, are optimized for discovery by AI, but also to not just looking at it from the lens of traditional search agents. So we have to make sure that we're taking into account, like, the ChatGPTs, the Google Geminis of the world. We have to make sure that our content is set up for all of these environments where people can search and find us. The unified content supply chain, I think, Cindy, you kind of hammered this one home, but silos are officially dead. With all these native integrations or with all of these plugins, we have the ability to see how assets is really the heart of the content supply chain. It's that ability to make sure that you are working in the environment that you want to work in and you have the tools that you need in one space. And then just like we were saying, AI as an orchestrator, it's not just a creator, it's really helping us to, it is our co-pilot, like I say right here in this third little bubble here. It's our partner, it's not replacing us. It's really helping us to automate some of the things that, might have taken us 6 clicks to get to, or now it's taking us 1, and it's helping us to find things. It's helping us to speed up some of the day-to-day tasks that used to take hours. So again, everything is empowering the people as opposed to replacing them.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Some great.
Avinash or Cindy, anything else you guys want to add?
Yeah, and also the way that the agents have been orchestrated is like they are getting an approval from human. So that's the key thing, because they are not going to directly do the changes. They are first try to get the approvals, and then based on that human approval, the things are going to get changed. So yeah, that's a key thing, because we need to keep human in the loop. So that's the key undertaking. Yeah.
Agreed. All right, some great key takeaways here. Before we get into some of the tips and tricks that we learned at Summit, I'll pause to check with our audience. Feel free to utilize the chat. If there was a session that you attended, go ahead and paste that in the chat. Let's let the community know that that's available out there. Or if you guys have any particular questions regarding Summit.
I did see
Um,
someone's hand raised a few minutes ago if they want to put
I
their
did
question
as
in the
well.
chat.
One
Mhm,
just hit the chat, says, are the
mhm.
agents, like the governance agent, included in sites deployments, or are they additional purchases needed? I do know from our user group perspective, we don't answer any questions regarding product SKUs. It's very unique to obviously Adobe and selling the product itself, but I would feel free to reach out to your customer service rep to answer that question. I do know a lot of are in beta right now to get some feedback, but I would check with them. All right, so I'm going to share a couple of tips and tricks of what we saw, again, from an assets perspective. So one of the things we learned was Adobe has an AI assistant that's available. It's within the Author UI as well as Assets View for those using AEM as a cloud. This provides AI guidance. Well, here's a couple examples of how you can use it for assets. If you have your asset librarians, they can actually use the AI assistant to type in questions like, what are the steps to perform a search in AEM? So instead of having to go to Experience League or documentation to find out how do I do something, the AI assistant is actually going to respond with those exact steps. Or maybe how do I search for assets using metadata fields? Or how can I use wildcards in my search? So this was one tip from the AI assistant that I wanted to share that is assets related that we did learn at Summit.
Melanie, can you talk about what wildcards are? Because I'm
Oh,
not sure
wow.
everybody knows that.
Good call. So let's say you go
Mhm,
into AEM to perform a search and you're looking for something like car. But you want to actually look for something a little bit further with those words. Like you know how to spell part of the word, like you want to look for cards, but you want to look for CAR. You can type in CAR and use an asterisk to fill in the additional letters that you need it to. Let's say I'm looking for a white car. The omnichannel search automatically looks for the word and in between. So I'm looking for white and car. But you could also use an or operator to provide white or car in filtering out your search results. There's about 10 different wildcards that you can use and a different combination of those. What's nice is the AI assistant will go out to Experience League and come back with all the different types of wildcards that you can use, as well as providing examples like what I just stated. So that way you can refine your search. And it stays on the same screen that you're in, so you can actually do the search and look at the documentation at the same time.
There's a couple of questions in the chat. Do we want to talk about those or do you want to
Yep,
go
let's
on?
jump into those.
Okay. One of the questions, was there any focus at Summit on Content Hub?
I do remember there being a couple sessions that were Content Hub related. I was not able to attend personally, but I don't know if anybody on our team did.
I was not able to either, but I would say to check out the Summit homepage, and you should be able to find the list of all of those that were there. There'll probably be some recordings.
And then there's a question about, is there any place I could test the agents?
As far as the agents, I would say what you need to do is look at Adobe's documentation to see what's available as far as the agents, or check with your customer service rep to find out what are the details and what you can find out there.
Yeah, and maybe there might be a sandbox or something they can provide to you.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they were doing some free trials for providing the access to those agents. I tried my hands on a couple of months back, so I think you can check onto those Adobe documentation, and definitely there will be a way where you can try your hands on, not for all of the agents, but at least for few of them.
Mm-hmm. Great. They said thank you. Now, Katie brought up a great point regarding one of the labs. What I'll do is I'll share the link in here for the chat, but there are some of the lab workbooks are not only are the sessions available, but some of the lab workbooks are also available as well. You also have the ability to explore some of the new AI workflows in AEM. So I'll paste these in the chat very, very shortly. And thanks to Rob for indicating the AEM Now, which is actually one of the links here, where you can get access to the AI playground to test out some of those agents that you were just asking on. Also announced at Summit is the AI training. There is a free course that is available, and I saw 3 very helpful articles on AI, talking about generative AI versus agentic AI, kind of defining them so that you understand what the differences is, or how to prompt AI to generate stunning visuals. I think this was a great documentation and a great guide, as well as a guide to using Adobe Firefly. So all of that was available on the AI training. As well as another great link that I utilize is on Experience League. There is an AEM Assets product group as well. And here you can find questions from other experts, answers to the community, or additional documentation. So this is, again, some great URLs and links that I'll paste here in the chat shortly. If one of you girls, while I'm doing that, want to go ahead and go through the chat, or we'll see if there are any extra questions. I'll get those in the chat here in 1 second.
I'm not seeing any other questions.
So we've got the session content out there. Let me do the AI training first. I should have had these ready. I'm sorry.
So somebody said something about what's available for sites. I don't know if anybody has seen about the Sites Optimizer. I thought that was pretty great because what's really cool about it is you can run pre-flight. It addresses accessibility issues. You can fix broken links. It'll identify them so you can fix them. And it's a single dashboard that the users can use. So many times, we have to wait for the dev team to give us a report or something like that. This puts it in our hands so that we can see and address any issues that we're having in our sites. So if you're looking into things, take a look at the Sites Optimizer.
I'd be curious to know, did any of our attendees here attend Summit? What did you all think of it?
I know a few people here. I saw them there.
I know. They're camera shy or talkative shy, which is okay.
Yeah.
There was a ton to unpack there, right? There were so many sessions, 200 plus sessions. It was almost overwhelming, but I think, the labs are really important. I'm going to be sending out a recap of just my own thoughts on Adobe Summit before long, but it definitely focused around AEM sites and developing for sites.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that you get almost like sensory overload when you're there because you're getting so much information at once. They are pretty good about trying to hone in on kind of repetitive they do have a message. And I think a lot of the things we talk about are kind of the message that I got from Summit, just sort of in broad strokes. But then I think what's valuable is to be able to refine and to get into the sessions maybe you didn't have time to get to because they were competing with another session that you were in. And so that's what I've been trying to do is go back through some of the sessions I wasn't able to and get the richness out of those. Erin was there. She is with Best Buy, but the face-to-face with the Adobe experts, that's definitely was, I think, so important. And I'm finding, and I'm not the only person that said this, is that it seems like Adobe's more like listening to us. They're interacting with us. They don't just want to show us their product. They want to hear what we have to say. And as users, I think that's super valuable.
All good. How are you?
Yep. It looks like Vikash, I wasn't, if maybe I'm saying that right. Did you have a question for the group or any feedback?
Might be a potential unmute.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah. So I am going to put a QR code here. If you have additional questions or topics for future user groups, feel free to ping me.
Okay.
Either email or through LinkedIn to let us know what other topics you'd like to cover in our user groups. All right. And for those who attended virtually,
Okay.
I know a lot of the sessions and things were there to attend. A lot of the sessions that were in person are slowly appearing on Adobe's
Okay.
website, where you can go to that to actually watch the sessions. I know for me personally, there was a
Yeah, I
lot
think
of
a couple of
information.
questions. So first off,
So I
this board is
definitely
only
go back to
accessible for
those
Kari and
videos.
us,
Ficus,
right?
can
Not
you
Triple Sense,
can you mute?
right? Okay.
It's not letting me.
Ficus.
Can you, for us internally, I need that
It's not
broken
letting me
down
mute
by
this person,
what's
so I
visible
don't
and what's
know
not
what
seen.
to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
I
it's
go
do
ahead, Bill.
apologize for that.
yeah. Yeah, that's just for you, me. When I say you, me, calling for us.
I'm sorry, it won't let me. It won't let
Yeah,
me
Triple
mute the
Sets
one
don't need to
presenter
know.
or the
Harvey
one
don't need to
person.
know. They don't care.
I know how to do this very
they don't
fast.
care. But I want to pitch.
That's it.
I want to present it to Maurice week on week around.
Yes.
All right. Well,
This is
with
how
that
much is
being
designed. This
said,
is how
I
much
want to
because
say thank you to everybody who had the
we have signed up
opportunity to attend today.
design,
Deeply
right?
appreciate that,
So
and
I'm
looking
pretty sure
forward
we're going to
to
exceed that
connecting with
because
all of you down the
there's
road.
design that
Yes.
Canvas
Thank
are
you
helping
all.
us with, as
Thanks,
you know.
everybody.
Bye.
The design for the
Bye.
product.
Bye.
Thank you.
Right. So so we got to be a bit careful on how and where we consume this. So. Mm. Yeah. 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 I, mm, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think no. I think let me explain. I spoke with Maurice as well. So these are the dates for us in our. I mean, important for us. 28th of May is when they've got the leadership meeting, right? And then so he was saying if I can have something by the 18th of May, right? So I literally went and gone back. Without even speaking to you, I kind of second guessed this anyway. So I went and told him, look, there are three things that you want us to come back on. What I said to him, two things we can definitely come back on. So all that he's looking for is mock-ups, right? So 18th of May, 28th of May is a leadership meeting where he wants to go back and say the website's changing, this is what's coming up, and this is what's going to be built. So he wants to show definitely like visual progress around this what's happening, not necessarily like if you know what I mean, like work being done and delivered, etc. So his expectation literally Figma designs from my perspective, right? So what I said to him was the home care one, mock-ups of different home care ones. I think as you're involved with Lauren and I asked her to speak to Hannah as well, should be the easiest, right? We need to figure out, look at that home care websites and see how we can mock up different home care websites using different colors, right? That is something it's all within our remit. You need to work with the devs front end, even if Shimon, right? I mean, he's a guy who goes crazy using wipe coding and all that stuff anyway. So, but then here we've got the functionality built in, so we just need to mock up a homepage for home care, right? I'm thinking mocking up a home, whatever is easy, right? So mocking up a website is having that website logo and some sample content, right? Whatever is going to take. I don't know if Figma is easier or if you can do it in Figma because we don't have home care in Figma, but Hannah Shimon should be able to. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that's within our remit, right? Yeah, correct. Yeah. No. Hold on. I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. So the three things I said to her, or what he said he would like to showcase to leadership. One is the home care one. Second one is the product one, right? Which we have already reached out to Canvas. I don't know. Did they say when they're going to come back with an estimate on, or what the next steps are? Do you know when Harry and Gareth? Yeah. Yeah, go for it. Let him know what's your plan when you're going to come back to us, and let him know right now around the 18th of May, Kabi would like to take a look at, these screenshots. Oh, you told him that? Okay, that's fine. Okay, so it just work backwards. So that's the second one. So I think that's enough time. If once Gaz puts on a research, even if it's Ibrahim, right, he's quite good. It's not going to take up time for him to mock up. I even look, as we are using AI, design guys have like plethora of AI tools that they can use. Anyway, so to show mock up, but then we got to be a bit careful, Gagan. What mock-ups we share and signed off by leadership is what we need to build, right? So let the mock-ups be reviewed by our design guys. Our front-end guys, right? To say that, because the key thing for us is we should not deviate a lot from the Fresno. We should not deviate, in fact, deviate at all from the Fresno design. Ideally, give and take a day, half a day of effort, right? We cannot have this funky mock-up. I'm not saying we're going to have it, because that's the remit to Canvas anyway that we have said. Yeah. Just to ensure that you're on top of that. What I don't want to land up is designs look great, signed off by Kavi, and then our devs go, you know where I'm going with this. You're like, oh, this is not Fresno. This is another 3 weeks of effort for just one of the product websites. I don't want that. So that's second one. So the third one is the one you and I you started talking about, was Maurice also wants to go on the leadership team and say, hey, the corporate website is changing. This is what it's going to look like. And then, as you can imagine, he genuinely wants to see some visual updates to the corporate website, right? Going and telling him the title is changing or some backend changes or configuration we are making is not going to be, he's not going to help him on the. I'm not saying we should do that anyway, but what he's looking for is tangible visual output. So what we need to do, we need to work with Melanie. And first of all, you need to go and tell Melanie. I mean, she's just pinged me, do we have a deadline? Literally as we speak, do we have a deadline? So you can let her know. Kavi want to review mockups by, just put a date of the 18th of May, right? So let's see what she reacts, right? 28th of May is his call as well. So even if we, so I said to Maurice, things like nav might take a bit more time, because the way we work is Triple Sense will come back with 2 or 3 options, and then Mark and we'll have to select one of them, right? It's not so. You need to sit with Triple Sense and say, collectively agree on, this is your full scope. Can you start off with the more visual elements that will actually have a visual impact on the website, right? I know you and I know it's nav. I don't know if there are a few others which, like, I don't know, a carousel, for example. I don't know, the hero band. I don't know. You have the list, right? The ones which have a visual impact, let them start off with that first, and then start their usual process of what they do. They mock up a few things, then they have a call with Kavi, and what do you like, what do you think, etc. And Kavi gives feedback. Yeah. So let us start with the first set of the one more visual ones, and hopefully by the 18th, if you can target, have some kind of a visual, let's say mock that's ready, which we can take into build or in dev. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No, go for it. I think now they're fully plugged in, budget signed off. So go on. Yeah, yeah. Is yeah for like yeah. I mean, I would copy Maurice. I mean, why? Because he's more of a. No, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. So Mark is a decision maker, right? But Mark is a freelancer. He's a contractor for Kavi. He's been brought in for this project. See what I mean? So as much as Mark is the guy who's going to sign off and approve, but Maurice wants to be involved in conversations and be aware. And more importantly, Maurice will be behind Mark's back on, Mark, this is needed tomorrow. Kavi, Comrade needs it tomorrow. And he's a guy who will help us know it. So you're right. You can send an email to Mark, but CC Maurice on in there, saying, yeah, but decisions are made by Mark. As you know, the PMing aspects around when will things be ready, how much is it going to cost, is all Maurice. But Mark, this design looks good, etc. And I would also just check with Mark. Mark, do we also need Steffi on these calls, right? Because you know what, you know where I'm going with this. You know, Steffi and Judith's baby was a corporate website. Now we are changing it left, right, and center. I would want Steffi to be involved, you know, in discussions around, hey, we're choosing a new nav now. I mean, you know, because we will, yeah, we are going to be the scapegoats. Mark approves something. I mean, look, Maurice is on board with us, etc. But no harm in asking Maurice and Mark, does Steffi need to be involved in these UX decisions? Because, you know, she was involved originally as part of the project with Judith, basically. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Mm. I think. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, right. Go on. Yeah, I think. I mean, I pull me into one of the stand-ups, or whenever it is. You got it, guys. I'll reiterate this. You know, these guys should exclusively be focused just on this and move things along, because you know, you need to reiterate this with them. We have built these guys and estimated forecasted these guys as, let's say, 15 days this month, which means genuinely when I'm quoting a 15K item to Kabi, I expect Sid's 15 days to finish that item or those three items, right? If we slip up on that, then we are in trouble, because at the end of the time, you know, you said 15, I have Mark signed off on 15 because we said 15, and now we end up. So if it's just that one or two items where we're gone a couple of days, it's fine. I think I mentioned to you, right? See, the subtle advantage we have is, but I'm not saying we should be very, very mindful of this, is we've got 250K, but I think in Gecko we are forecast at 300, right? So we exactly, we got some buffer, but but we don't want to use the buffer up front on the first 5, 6 tickets, if you know what I mean. So as long as if the others are getting balanced out, and you know, and the net is +2 or +3, it's fine, right? For every piece of work, if we go, but it should not be more than +2 or +3. And ideally, it should be even less, even better, right? We make more of a margin, which means we can do more stuff from Kavi, right? That's number one. And number two, mate, I hope until these old design shenanigans, you know, we get back from Canvas, from TSR, our guys have stuff to do, right? We should have enough in a backlog. Yeah, okay, cool. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mate, yeah, yeah, yeah. All good, mate. All good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, mate. And if you got items, more items, pull in Sorana, or you know, some of the other devs who are free, because we're not limited to these. I told you, right? Because the sooner we finish, it's the better. This is not. I mean, just check. I don't know if Sorana is forecasted or not. Or I presume some of the other. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And yeah, she's fairly free. And if you've got front end, mate, we've got budget here. Pull her in. Give her a forecast, assign her tickets. Let's get cracking. I mean, I don't want us to. It's not a case of, because we don't have. Mo- so Maurice wants to start migrating websites end of May. So, and he wants to finish dev so that the focus is just purely just churning out websites on migrating, right? So we don't want that thing of, oh, this functionality is not yet live, so this website can't go live. You know, the nav's not improved. I mean, we already have a challenge with Canvas and Preserving Design, you know, which is new, fresh, etc. Right? So more so home care and the work we're doing on the corporate website. Let's ensure that, bring Sorana in. Let's move stuff quicker, faster. Right? That's one. And two, mate, the other thing I want to speak to you. So you're doing a bunch of stuff on the corporate website. Can you have a sync with Jeremy on to I'm just kind of conscious of, we are saying we're improving the platform holistically, right? And if there are like 20 items in the backlog right now, right, we have to ensure that when I say platform, home care, Frezubin, and Kabi, all of them are taking care of these 20 items, right? So Nav is an easy example because it's only the corporate website Nav, which is a problem. Like Frezubin's been redesigned, right? And home care has never been it's a very, kind of a small Nav. But there might be some other items where, oh, hold on a minute. If we haven't done this on Frezubin, for example, right? So Jeremy, the team needs to pick up there. Just to let Jeremy know, the budget can be from the RFS. You see what I mean? So just be careful of the fact that next time, I should have mentioned this before, when we're estimating effort, we need to check on something that needs to be done only on the Kabi code base or also needs to be done on the Frezubin code base. You see what I mean? This might not be applicable for all, but for some, it will definitely be applicable, right? Yeah, because what we don't want is, 2 months down the line saying, yeah, oh, okay, because now we are using the Frezubin code base to spin up the product websites, right? So the expectation when we say A/B testing is ready, it's not just on the corporate website; it should be on every platform, right? So the features which are applicable across, I think schema is something which you guys have already connected or plugged in and talking about. Right. So some of these others also just have a chat with Jeremy on, maybe a half an hour call and saying, here are the 15 things I'm working. Nav, not a problem, only here, carousel, not a problem, but more like backend or configuration stuff, I think also might impact Frezubin. But yeah, just to let you know. Yeah. No, all good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Go for it, mate. Yeah, I mean, and feel free to ping me anytime. It's good. And, ask me if you want me on calls, I can, happy to join as well. Just let me know. Yeah. Yeah. All good. Yeah, all good. Will do. Yes, Mike. Yeah, speak later. Bye.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಈ ಮುಂಚೆಯಿಂದ ಈಗಿಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳು.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಣ್ಣನ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ
9.9 ಇಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಈಗ?
ಅದೇ ಜಿನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಂಟಿ ಇಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ವೆಲ್ ಅಂತೆ. ऐसे क्यों अन्ना इतना नेगेटिव बोल रहे हैं मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा. ऐसे नहीं हो सकता है कि कुछ भी. मैं भी अन्ना को लिख रही हूँ, अन्ना लेट्स स्टे पॉजिटिव.
Anna is there on the ground level. Anna is like that only. That's how he is. Even on the call with me, he says it as it is. Anna is not. Yesterday, everything he told her, I told you same things only yesterday. But I think now they've shifted her. He's basically must have called and told today morning.
ऐसा लिख रही हूँ मैं.
I can't manage anymore.
At 5, I have a thing I want to read.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
start कर सकते हैं जाके अच्छा okay okay oh god okay not very inspiring but ठीक है oh अच्छा अच्छा हाँ ओके कैसा लगा तेरा वीडियो में लगता है क्या ओ अच्छा अच्छा ओ ये है ओके ओके अच्छा अच्छा ठीक है फिर आपसे वो करेंगे अच्छा अच्छा ओके ओके डांस के लिए तो मुझे पूरी अरे मुझे ना एक्चुअली हाँ हाँ नहीं नहीं एक्चुअली ना मुझे एक और बिजनेस कॉल आया अपना फेसबुक पोस्ट देख के वो एक श्रीहरी करके है मैं अपने जिस मठा में गए थे इवेंट के लिए जो अपन वो अपन तीनों गए थे ना हाँ 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 तो वहाँ पे गए थे अरे श्रीहरी थे वहाँ पे जिन्होंने मुझे बहुत ऑनर वॉनर किया ही लाइक वो वो रन करते हैं मठा हुआ तो उन्होंने मुझे मैसेज किया कि अरे आई हर्ड आई सॉ ऑन फेसबुक यू आर डूइंग समथिंग टू डू विद योगा एंड ऑल I would like to, would you like to do something at the Pata? So, मैंने कहा, yeah, I don't mind. तो मैंने थोड़ा बताया कि what we started and थोड़ा हमारे बारे में. फिर I said, are you looking at a workshop? We can plan a session. We can plan a session. He said. I said, yeah, I was very supportive with my. We can plan a workshop करके. क्योंकि वो तो ग्रुप बहुत ही बड़ा है. Like उनका तो like more than 1,000 people का है. मुझे 5 वर्ष का ग्रुप है 500 लोग हैं बहुत बड़ा ग्रुप है तो आई डोंट थिंक मैं आगे बढ़ा हूं लेकिन आई थिंक दैट्स फाइन आई सेड यस टू मी और फिर ही सेड लेकिन आई थिंक मैं काफी वो But I'm sure what we expect is that if people want to enter, so that means we need to work out. हाँ दोनों के लिए भी पॉजिटिव हाँ हाँ तो he is keen on both he said one of sessions is fine but मैं regular basis में भी देख रहा था वहाँ पे कुछ guys नहीं हुआ so I think that's a good thing right I think yeah तो फिर मैंने कहा कि हम लोग ये तीनों करते हैं योगा breathwork nutrition सब कुछ तो फिर थोड़ा पूछ लिया कि what is the using है और थोड़ा ट्रायल एंड एरर होगा अपना like we have to put out some trials and see response to किस के ज़्यादा आता है and वो टेंशन का बड़ा सा हॉल है but नया बनाना चाहिए होगा but he is quite keen on promoting that तो जैसा अपना हिंदू धर्म का मंदिर है ना वैसा है ये नया मंदिर तो ये जो है ये इज लाइक नाउ द मेन पर्सन रनिंग वो कुछ और से ऑफर है और जस्ट दिस माता का बहुत ज्यादा लाइक क्वालिटी बट फॉर द मेडिकल कम्युनिटी तो हाँ हाँ करेक्ट तो आई थिंक मुझे ऐसा लगा कि इट्स अ ग्रेट ग्रुप टू जॉइन like charity type. But I think we can work that out. वो अभी से discuss करने की जरूरत नहीं. पहले तो let's get in. वो एक user base बन जाता है ना. Then those people can also come to our other workshops जो मठा में नहीं हो रहे, बाहर भी हो रहे हैं, right? Once you form it. हाँ. So we 6 o'clock we said we call me. तो मैं discuss करके मैं तुझे बताती हूँ रात को या फिर. नहीं तो वो डांस चैनल से मैं कॉल कर. हाँ, अभी क्या होता है कि जब मुझे कोलैबोरेशन की रिक्वेस्ट आती है ना तुझे भेजती है तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली वो उस पे आती है. तो पहले मुझे लगता है अब तक नहीं आ रही है पर एक तरह से अब मुझे लग रहा है अच्छा ही हो गया क्योंकि लोगों को वहां ज्यादा नोटिस कर. हाँ. इनको हाँ और इनको मुझे पता नहीं है कि क्या है. Before I talk to him, but let's see what direction it goes. और मैंने आज वो कैलकुलेशन में निकाला इतना प्रॉफिट नहीं हुआ इस बार लेकिन हमने प्राइस इतनी कम रखी थी यार. हाँ तो तुझे सिर्फ वो 2 डायरेक्ट अकाउंट से आया मुझे बाकी बिक्स से पे आउट होगा. तो वो बिक्स का क्या है कि वो थोड़ा पैसे काटता है ना. हाँ. 10 मैंने अपने 10 पाउंड निकाले हैं ओवरऑल. 10 उसके और 10 120 और 10-15 मैंने डाले हैं वो बॉटल्स और वो बॉक्सेस जो ऑर्डर किए. हाँ और मुझे लगता है कुछ 255 आए हैं अपने को इनकमिंग. तो वो अराउंड 105 ऐसा पाउंड्स का है प्रॉफिट. अभी भी हम लाइक 490 पाउंड्स के प्रॉफिट में चल रहे हैं ओवरऑल सारे खर्च निकाल के. So I think it's fine. बट वही मुझे अब लग रहा है कि वो उसको भी अपने को पूछना पड़ेगा कि वो उन्होंने हमसे पैसे नहीं लिए ना महाराष्ट्र मंडल. तो मैं उसको बोलूंगी कि डिस्काउंट दे रहे हो तो 50 ले लो. हमें इतने कोई लीड्स को Zidane had 2 yesterday. No, such a stupid boy.
Hey.
Sorry.
You should have had 2 if you wanted.
That's
That's
okay.
all the next they will have. How can you prevent? How can
It's
you?
my birthday cake. Abby gets to sleep at
Mother,
9
here you
o'clock. And you don't say anything.
I was not even here. I don't even know. All I know is it's not there anymore. Because I put the bottle for.
So why don't you tell it?
Yes, after somebody.
Whenever I sleep, they always get so angry at me.
You always say, don't be angry.
But my bed is even
Angry.
smaller than his last.
Is that in bed? ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು US ಇಂದ ಹೊಸ ಬೆಡ್ ತಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't even get me the bed. You didn't.
Yes. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಲಾಸ್ ವೇಗಾಸ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬೆಡ್ ತಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು.
No, you didn't.
You wrap okay na?
Yeah.
You could have paneer. Hi Dada. You what? Lost her?
Yeah.
Andre?
Chets, chala bata hogo. You're eating what?
I know you're running away from me because you don't want to see me. And now you're going to come up mama and just ignore me. I already know, don't worry.
Is there insect on my face? Hiya, Jabby Jinku. Thanks for the call. Thanks for the call, Mrs. Stevens.
Mrs. Finn. I ran to the office because I was so scared that you were gonna order.
No, she doesn't.
No, because I thought that you got angry that I didn't say bath. No, I was downstairs. Mommy, did someone have 2 slices of cake yesterday? I realized it. No, when I just 2 slices, so God, I had 2 left, so I didn't just one. Yeah, so there was 2 left. Yeah, I want to. What did you order? Oh, those are good. How many? Oh, yeah.
And these stickers, one good thing is it's, you can put them on, these are really nice stickers. So they're like, you don't have to put it here. You can take it back and put on your laptop. So these are like good for bigger people also. They are called like stickers for kids, teens, adults, boys, girls.
You say we need to do something. We
Skateboard,
say about
luggage,
it, and then you're
car,
questioning
bike.
about it.
Oh,
So it's not just those punctured stickers. They're like nice proper stickers.
oh, that's good. But,
You do a lesson.
but how much?
3.
They are.
There's only 3.
Oh, that's
3,
good.
1K, 2K, 3K.
What, 100?
Yeah.
Too many.
Oh, I heard like if you want to just like nobody's coming and then you just like.
Oh yeah, that's actually
You can watch, yeah.
yeah, that's good. But I'm not sure because they're all really good, so I'm not sure what the prize is. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I wanted to all these. You have 100.
Too much.
No, but why do you finish it for next time? You don't have to use all.
That's true, yeah. But I'm gonna do the stickers for easy, and then I might do the bookmarks for hard. What else did you get? Oh, actually,
That will be very popular. Hard questions are not easy.
I know I make it like a bit easy. I won't put it too close together.
Okay,